Good day, good day. Happy Thanksgiving if you're listening to post Thanksgiving or before Thanksgiving. If you're listening post Thanksgiving, happy holidays and a Merry Christmas to you, because that doesn't make a difference. As you can tell, we are missing a good old man here, Holden Kushner. He is out of town. We'll give him a break because it is Thanksgiving weekend. But I am here with friends, with family, with Titletown 2121. How are you doing, Title?
How you doing, Rubio? Quite the intro. I like it. You should take the hosting jobs once in a while now. Yeah, I don't know where Holden is. He just said he couldn't make the podcast. We will be talking the main slate, though, on this pod. We've had yesterday or today, actually, Hoop Tuesday talking, if you guys are listening to this later. But Tuesday, Mangone, Hoop, myself broke down a first look for Thanksgiving. Tomorrow, BigT. JSU, Tambo, or Allie, I believe, are doing another one. So a bunch of Thanksgiving content will be up, but we're going to focus on the main slate. Yeah, excited to dive in. I'm excited for Thanksgiving football for sure. I'm going to the Cowboys game with Hoop. So that should be fun. And then hopefully win some money.
So here's a question. So we know Title and Hoop, right? We know Hoop. Hoop's been a shipper. He's kind of on a little bit of a heater these past few months. I feel like he's shipping every other week. Is he going to buy your drinks at the Cowboys game? I feel like you have to coerce him to do that.
I mean, he got the tickets for us, so I definitely wouldn't make him do that. I imagine he probably won't make me buy stuff. I'm on the heater myself, though. Definitely not in the same ballpark as Hoop, but a mini heater for myself. So I won't. I mean, he probably will. That's the kind of guy Hoop is, but I'll hopefully not. I'm not going to make him.
If he bought the tickets, I think it's only right that
he did. FanDuel hooked us up.
Oh, okay. A little bit of a flex on us there. Where are you sitting?
I don't even know. FanDuel, I hooked Hoop up, I should say.
Ooh.
FanDuel hooked. Yeah, not this one. I didn't have much to do with.
All right. Well, if you're kind of saying that you hooked Hoop up, I'll pressure him to a drink for you. By the way,
I definitely did not hook Hoop up. It was the other way around.
You know who has hooked us up? Uncle T with some gear. Have you looked at the gear that we have on fold?
Yeah, I got a sweatshirt last time. The second time around, I got the sweatshirt last time. I'm definitely gonna get some other stuff. Uncle T, he knows a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy. I guess he gets some good gear.
Jordan brand. I mean, that's a baller right there. That's top class.
Yeah, I mean, Uncle T's the man. He knows that.
Oh, 100%. But hey, I got to bring up something to you. Have you ever celebrated a thing called Wingsgiving before?
No.
I'll tell you, you're missing out. You're missing out. I had a great time tonight. That's how I was so fired up in my hosting duties, right? It's because I am like 6 units in, maybe 7. I can't remember now. But before I left, I took a couple fireball shots, but I am all ready. Wingsgiving, a group of people, probably about 25 of us, all bring 30 wings or so, depending on if you're in a couple or not, from all different places. We claim B-dubs because we're cheap as fuck and it's a Tuesday and it's a buy one, get one deal on Tuesday. But we came in and I'll tell you, I am full to the brim right now. I've just had 15 wings. Someone even brought canes. I don't think that counts as wings, but probably the best Thanksgiving kind of rendition I've ever been a part of. I would say the alcohol was there. We had the NBA game on, which I saw Talon Horton Tucker absolutely crush it as chalk to get 11.5 at 6K. And then, I had more Fireball and more Michelob Ultras. Weird drink choice for my girlfriend. I said, what beer do you want? And she says Michelob Ultras. I think she's like old as fuck. That's a golf brand beer too. I mean, that's just weird. I guess she's becoming way too good of a golfer that she thinks she has to have the Brooks Koepka drink. I don't know, but really great rendition. I'm kind of fired up right now.
I mean, wings are one of my favorite foods. So Wingsgiving sounds like a fun time to me. Rubio, a little tipsy on a pod, though. I like it. That's a Rubio I like to hear. Hopefully you give out some winners.
I only give winners when I'm tipsy, but I have people coming in like, oh man, great. Rubio's tipsy. Rubio's this or that. It's on the Sunday night show and I'll be like 1 beer in. But we're like 6-7 units in. It's been like a couple hours since I had my first unit. I would say I'm not quite there on the tipsy scale, but I'm definitely in the communicative scale. That's why alcohol is such a great tool in life. It's such a great communicator. It can break the ice. It can break the tension. And that's why I'm a big fan of alcohol. So I don't know why I just kind of went on that tangent.
This is the Rubio I like.
You don't like the other Rubio?
Yeah, I like both Rubios. Holden, I don't know what Holden would say about this Rubio, but
Oh, well, Holden's not here, so we can say whatever the fuck we want because we know he's not going to listen to the show. So, I mean, like, I won't go too deep or anything like that, but I know he doesn't celebrate a Wingsgiving. And, I will say this, maybe it leaks back to him, maybe it doesn't, but I think Holden's a lightweight.
no, he probably is.
Yeah,
I
100%.
definitely could see that.
Even when it comes to like gummies and stuff, I just feel like he's going to be he's just a lightweight.
I think you're right.
Thank you. I like being right. That's one of my favorite things in life. I left my puppy at my parents'. I'm going up there for Thanksgiving, but I came back to Louisville because Verizon loves to make you work the day before a holiday. But I am without a dog right now, man, without responsibility. And it's kind of how I played DFS last week, without responsibility. I think I returned 0 for the first time in a long time. And it was just by absolutely ignoring my love for the Packers Vikings and immediately stacking that Cowboys Chiefs game. And sad results happened. I hope the same didn't happen to you. How'd you fare?
Cash games, I profited again. I was in the green. It was at the week to. I played Devontae Adams. We say top 2 not to. Played him in Yahoo, FanDuel, DraftKings, cash games, locked him in. So it's pretty much all you needed. I faded Mahomes. I played Josh Allen. Mahomes was very chalky. Josh Allen wasn't. So I made some pivots that worked. Wasn't like a crazy week or anything. Tournaments though, I got dusted again. I didn't play enough Jonathan Taylor, who I love. I didn't play enough Justin Jefferson, who I love. It was a week that I should have won all the money because it was the guys I always talk about. But yeah, of course I didn't.
I will say before I was thinking about this yesterday. I obviously forgot that we had a podcast tonight as we started like 40 minutes late. I completely forgot. But I was thinking coming in, I was like, man, Ty will probably smash tournaments because his 2 favorite guys crushed. And even Joe Mixon, he got there.
That was another one too. Like I should have literally just had the stones. And of course, we talk about it Tuesday.
Yep.
Things change a little. And of course, if I trust them, if I kept what I was doing on Tuesday, I would have won all the money. All you needed was JT and Jefferson. Like they were so low owned, you could win with snowflakes.
It was funny. I was at work. It was busy as hell on Sunday, and I got to see the first, half and stuff. And I saw Taylor scored 2 touchdowns, and I was like, okay. And I got busy with customers, and my friend texted me, he said Taylor 5, and I said, what the fuck did I miss? Like Jonathan Taylor. I kind of said it 2 weeks ago on the show. Taylor's going to be RB1, and even with McCaffrey back, he is RB1. These share totals, like he's getting 85% of the snaps. It's not even a timeshare anymore. The Colts know what they have. They know they have something special, and it is absolutely showing. This is just something to kind of bridge into. McCaffrey, we'll talk about running backs here in a bit. McCaffrey, someone that I kind of associated with Cam Newton getting the quarterback job, kind of hurting him, and Taylor on the opposite end on the second half of the season, starting to get all these carries, only going to help him. And those best ball teams, if you have Jonathan Taylor right now, you can go ahead and start counting those chips because you can go ahead and stack them up.
It's my leading running back, my most exposed running back in my 150 with Jonathan Taylor.
So have you looked at your best ball lately?
Yeah, I think I got right now like 45 out of 150. That's either in first or second.
I'm crazy.
My script's really, really good.
So you think about it, right? Those tickets and the 20 on DraftKings are like what, 5?
I'm all on underdog. It's the same kind of
underdog 25. It's still 104 because I think 2 advanced. I'm in 1 because I used my free play and then forgot to use half my other free play. The underdog there. So, oh my God, that's even half point PPR. Jonathan Taylor is even more valuable there without that. Oh my God. 45 out of 150. That is absolutely absurd. That really is.
It's still, right now. He's my most exposed. I have Jamar Chase. I'm like 20 something percent.
We're 3 weeks away from the end of the season, right?
Yeah. Because then it goes playoffs. I think I think you're right. It might be 3 weeks. Yeah. But I like you, some of those like J.K. Dobbins. I have a little, Darrell Henderson's my second most exposed running back. So but then, want to know my highest exposed player in general is Brashard Perryman at 49%.
Kind of funny. He got some good blocks yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Of course. I'm like, if I run good to end here. And then my most exposed stack is Daniel Jones, Evan Ingram, and Sterling Shepard. So like I still have duds in there.
You celebrating the Jason Garrett firing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole. I mean, it's not the offensive coordinator. Like he sucks too, but there's a lot more problems than just Jason Garrett.
I saw a standstill on Twitter that had literally 3 Giants wide receivers within 2 yards of each other. And it was on that crossing play that I don't think he threw a pick on it, but he had a ball batted down and it came close to getting picked. But man, you just hope it kind of ticks up from here because the Tampa Bay Bucks defense looked absolutely like stars, and that's never the case. But man, I'll digress. We'll move into quarterbacks. I'm glad to see you having that best ball success. I'm sure we will circle back to that because I don't forget. I hope you have success. I mean, that is, I just hope people kind of appreciate that. You get 5x almost basically for just getting to the playoff. That's kind of the 5x of your value of the ticket. You're doing that when only 2 out of 12 teams advance. You're in the top 2 out of 45 out of 150. That's absolutely absurd. And I hope people appreciate that because that blows my mind. And I've been around for a little bit. Like, my God.
Hopefully we run Pier at the end. I mean, there's so a lot of football. I mean, because what Jonathan Taylor has one awful week, and that's the one, and then it's like there's 20% down the drain. So we'll see. Hopefully, if Daniel Jones sacks gets going to end the year, could be looking tasty. But I appreciate it. We'll see. Well, I mean, we're on this pod. Yeah, I'll definitely be very engaged with my best balls the more it goes. Because first like 12, I haven't really followed it too much. Like I look every week, it's fun, but like coming up, then I'll start tracking some teams pretty close.
Yep, that is absolutely awesome, and I wish you nothing but success. As you know, I will be cheering for you, and I'll ask for some tracking if we can. But we will move on to quarterbacks. We will not be covering the Thanksgiving slate if you are looking for it. We are doing this pod on Tuesday. We usually do it on Wednesdays, so people might see this pod up a day early. That does not mean we're covering Thanksgiving. So if you made it this far, I apologize. And that's all you were looking forward to.
I already mentioned it too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm a little bit, but but we will go ahead and get into week 1 slate, kind of looking at quarterbacks. Have you looked? I know it's Tuesday. It's a little bit tough. We don't even have a full injury report, but has anyone caught your eye to begin the week?
Oh, this, I mean, on the podcast, always, it's my first time really even looking at the slate. I was looking at Thanksgiving
too, so this
right? It'll even be later, but looking at it, I mean, the spend ups aren't there. So we have Dak on Thursday. We have Josh Allen on Thursday. The Chiefs aren't on the slate. So right there, I mean, those are the quarterbacks I pretty much always play and spend up on. Now, Cam Newton, if you're talking about what stands out, Cam Newton at 5.6K, he stands out against Miami. Herbert at 6.6 against Denver, I think would probably be a spend up. Mm-hmm. You could go Tom Brady at 7.6, but gets the Colts. Colts looked pretty good last week. I'm probably going to want to save some money. Like Tom Brady at 7.6 isn't just someone I'm a spend up. Mainly his rushing upside isn't there. Decent matchup or pretty tough matchup. So I think Herbert would be my spend up. But I'm probably going to be living in the Cam range, to be honest. I love his rushing upside when he gets you. One more name I'll throw out, Tyrod Taylor at 5.3. He played well last week. Now he gets his Jets team that I just stream anybody against the Jets. They're bad. 5.3 for Tyrod. If he's low on, I might take a little shot there.
I kind of like that, streaming anyone against the Jets, kind of picking your matchup and just, something that we've gone back to season and season again. Even in NBA, we have a matchup that we like and we'll attack it. In NFL, it's no different. And speaking of matchups, Carson Wentz at 5.8. I know I will bet money that Big T has him in his core on Sunday. And I think he'll stack him with Michael Pittman. And I think he's been waiting for a spot. He said it before. He's been waiting for a spot for an elite quarterback, elite wide receiver too. Not quite elite. If you ask Big T, you may differ, but I guarantee you he'll have a ton of Carson Wentz and Michael Pittman. They've been dominating on offense. And it's kind of funny because Jonathan Taylor has seen the bulk of the offense. But this is a Tampa team that is definitely a pass funnel. This is a Colts team that can get it done through the air. And Jonathan Taylor has caught like 4 to 5 catches almost a game, it seems. And he is absolutely in play on the stack. But I just love the Colts in general. I even like the Tampa side. But Tom Brady at 7.6 when he went at 5.8 doesn't really interest me a ton. I will say the Cam Newton thing, I had him on my short list. It's kind of that below 6K range that we're going to kind of be looking forward to because you mentioned it. The studs aren't really there. It is kind of strange to see our boy Herbert at 6.6, freshly off dominating the Steelers. That game was actually pretty good. I was kind of underwhelmed coming into it. I wasn't really excited in it. And all of a sudden, Big Ben, and the Steelers put up 27 in like the fourth quarter alone. Just absurd results. It was kind of fun to watch. And Herbert, no different. He's arguably a top 5 quarterback in this league at the moment. And the 30 plus potential is definitely there. 6.6K. I know it's not the greatest of spots, but we have his stacking options with Keenan Allen. We have his stacking options, maybe even a Mike Williams who's returning to form after the beginning of the season too. I wouldn't bank on it just because he didn't really look his way a ton, but there's definitely stacking options with him. One last name that I'll mention just because they're kind of showcasing a little bit of talent and stuff. It's not something that's going to be increasingly or any bit sexy or anything, but Big Ben at 5.2, it might pain a lot of people to hear that name, but this Bengals team, they can be attacked through the air. And I think most of the reason why I'm interested in Big Ben is because I have an interest in Deontay Johnson or Chase Claypool. Eli Apple did get a big play last week, but I really think the Steelers can kind of get whatever they want. And that 27 points that they put up against Chargers in the fourth quarter could be a sign of things to come for this offense. They definitely have the talent, and Big Ben could potentially reach that 20-point mark for 5.2K. You can't really hate on it, but we'll move on. You got anything else to add with quarterbacks though, Title?
No, I'm not going to play Big Ben. I do like Deontay, but I just can't do that. But,
exactly. And it's a short slate. It's 10 games. It's not our usual 11, 12, 13. We have 2 games on Thursday night, as Title kind of alluded to, with Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, 2 of the main players being on the Thanksgiving games. And we're kind of a little bit thin. I mean, Tom Brady's the top quarterback with Stafford and Hurts behind him. It's not really exactly a stud tier. So, if you want to get ugly at quarterback, you absolutely can. I mean, some would argue that Cam and Tyrod are there, but those are guys who can get it done on the ground. And that is so valuable in today's fantasy game. And Tyrod rushed 2 in. Cam's always a threat around the goal line. It's just absolutely crucial to have. And, in a slate with, short slates, you can definitely get different by, running a quarterback naked. But we'll move on to running back. I will say Jonathan Taylor at 9.1 is a lot. He is actually the most expensive running back ahead of Christian McCaffrey. Do you have any interest at the top for you?
Well, I love McCaffrey at 9K against Miami. JT at 9.1. Like, I didn't play him last week. I mean, like, I don't know. You can always play the guy, but he's going against Tampa. They're past funnel. Like, the matchup isn't there. I'm going to take McCaffrey every time. And I said that last week, though. And of course, like, McCaffrey didn't do anything wrong. He got you your 24, but JT's upside is 5 touchdowns. So I'm going to continue to play McCaffrey over Jonathan Taylor this week, at least, especially with the matchup. I don't blame anyone for playing them. The thing that stands out right away, AJ Dillon's 5.9K. His price didn't do anything. I expect Aaron Jones still to be out. 5.9 for AJ Dillon. That's just, I'm going to play him in every single lineup. Myles Gaskin at 5.6. We talked about it last week. The opportunity is just there for him. He's getting the usage. So 5.6, I'm good with that. Miles Sanders came back. He rushed it like 16 times. Could catch a couple balls out of the backfield. 5.1, too cheap. Darrell Henderson, 5.8, too cheap. Dalvin Cook, 8.1. Like, I'm fine. Like, if you can't find the 9, so McCaffrey's 9K. Dalvin's 8.1. If that 900 goes a long way and you want to land in that range, he's probably going to be 10% owned. I'm fine playing Dalvin at 10%. The last guy I'll mention, James Robinson. Atlanta's so bad as well. I think Trevor Lawrence even this week. Like, I think Jacksonville's a very, very low. Costs very little, very low owned. You can pay studs with it. You have a whole different build. Another team I just like picking on Atlanta. So Dylan, you start your lineup there. Probably want to get McCaffrey, and then you can play 4 receivers. You can mix in a running back, do stuff like that.
It's kind of funny. I had no idea that our boy Myles Gaskin had 26 touches last game. That is absurd. The biggest thing coming into the season, and I know we're like 12 weeks away or removed from the season actually starting, but the Dolphins are always going to run a running back by committee. The Dolphins are going to be, a 3-headed monster. It seems like it's a 1-headed monster at the moment. I know they were going against the Jets and stuff, but Myles Gaskin getting all those touches is absolutely crucial. And it's a spot that is absolutely favorable to him. And I keep saying absolutely, but it's because, again, I've had a few. But I will say another Miles in the room, Miles Sanders. Back from injury, we kind of forget how good he is. The Tampa Bay offense kind of had whatever they want outside a couple of turnovers against the Giants. Miles Sanders at 5.1. Man, he was chalk at this price earlier in the season, and then he got hurt. I think he'll be chalk a little bit again. I mean, not really that much, just because underdog running backs in general. I feel like who is favored between the Eagles and Giants? I'll let you guess the spread if you haven't looked.
I just looked.
Oh, you bastards.
Sorry.
What is
Eagles
the spread?
by 4. Eagles by 4.
Really?
That's what I
Holy
see.
cow.
I thought you looked.
I didn't look.
Yeah,
I would
Eagles
never
by-
have guessed that.
Eagles are favored by 4.
All right. Well, Eagles by 4. Holy cow. That definitely puts Miles Sanders squarely in play. I will say, kind of going across the list here and stuff, I think the mid-tier running back build is the best. And I prefer to talk about kind of construction more than anything. But it's tough to kind of spend up the 9.1. We're probably going to spend below 6K for a quarterback. We're probably going to be kind of living in the mid-range at the running back position because you mentioned it. There's a ton of good names here. Darrell Henderson, 5.8. AJ Dillon at 5.9. AJ Dillon had 6 catches out of the backfield. If Aaron Jones misses, how can you not play AJ Dillon again? There's a reason why he was chalk. It felt like he was the only chalk running back to actually get there last time, too. There's just no reason for him to be priced below 6K still. It looks like we'll have Elijah Mitchell maybe in. If he's not, Jeff Wilson had all the opportunity in the world to get there, 20 touches or so at 5.3K. I know that we have a lot of running backs in this area, as you alluded to, kind of getting a ton of touches as is, but kind of adds to that list of just absolutely stout options that we have in front of us. Darren Hilliard for the Tennessee Titans caught 8 balls out of the backfield last game. This isn't a plus EV matchup against the Patriots, who prefer to slow the games down. Their defense has been really good. That Judon, as someone who has not really paid attention much to the defensive side of the football because, daily fantasy sports and everything, kind of you focus on the offensive side. That Judon for the Patriots, whenever I get to see them play live, my goodness, that dude just looks like a DPOY, like a defensive player of the year potential. And it is kind of scary to ever go against them. But that Dontrell Hilliard, 8 catches out of 10 targets in the backfield. If the Titans are trailing at all, I would say there's a little bit of interest in me at 4.6, but we have safer options and stuff for cash games. I think I don't even really want to mention these studs because I don't think I'm going to play McCaffrey. I don't think I'm going to play Taylor. And as much as I love them, I just think the mid-tier build is superior, and it matters more to me what build I'm comfortable with rather than getting the guys I want. I made it a point last week to try and get McCaffrey in. He ended up getting there a little bit for 25, and it smashed all the other chalk running backs that kind of ended up failing. But I made it a point. I was like, man, the mid-tier running back build has been so successful this year. I've had, good money in NFL. I'm going to keep that up. And I went away from McCaffrey. Ended up a bit biting me in the ass a little bit, but I will say I think I'm going to keep riding that until it burns me for multiple weeks in a row.
Yeah, I didn't play McCaffrey in cash either. I played Jeff Wilson was a lock. AJ Dillon was a lock. Then I went the Mark Ingram route. So because it got me up to Devontae, while the train I passed went McCaffrey and couldn't get Devontae. So I'm with you. I mean, I'm definitely gonna play some McCaffrey, but probably not the Jonathan Taylors because I don't want to be too overweight on that upper tier build. I love McCaffrey as floor and ceiling.
So I will say this. Now, I kind of want to touch on that Mark Ingram play. In hindsight, would you play Mark Ingram again? I know he got there in the end and stuff, but would you play him again?
To be honest, I didn't even really consider the McCaffrey build in cash. I thought the Ingram one was a lock. So, yeah, I thought he was, especially with his ownership. With his ownership involved, he was my favorite running back play on the slate last week, and I just didn't know the ownership was going to be like that. I thought it was a smash spot.
Can you talk me through that just a little bit? Because I think the Eagles, going against the Eagles, is a great spot for running backs personally. I think that is a position that I kind of went out of my way to target 2 or 3 times this year. I did it with Leonard Fournette when he went off for 30, and I was very happy with that. But with Tony Jones Jr. and being back, he ended up not getting a ton of touches, but also Taysom Hill being there to vulture the running back touches. Is that something that you were concerned with at all when you're considering his ownership, or were you kind of just like, hey, Ingram's going to get these touches no matter what, and I just think he's going to be a good play at this price?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm Taysom Hill. To be honest, I don't really care about him. Like he's maybe 2 a game. Like I don't really pencil him in for some. And Tony Jones either. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, Sean Payton has like when it's Kamara, yeah, he worries about him a little. He doesn't want to abuse him in the beginning of the year and stuff like that. But a Mark Ingram that he's using just 1 year, it's not a future. Like he's in there. He likes Mark Ingram. He knows the plan. He knows the playbook. He caught 4 passes 2 weeks ago, so I thought that was encouraging that Simeon can dump it off to him. So I thought there was some PPR upside there. He was 5.4K. Like, at the end of the day, a starting running back, 5.4K in a good matchup in the close game. Like, I thought it was pretty easy, especially because like there was Tyreek there was Devontae there. I didn't want to go the Tua route. I wanted to spend up at quarterback. So that's kind of how, but I mean, that's how I viewed it. Other sharp people played McCaffrey and went different routes that way. I loved Mark Ingram.
For sure. It's not like Ingram got there the most out of any chalk running back there. He crushed.
He smashed. You'd rather him than McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah. And I know our $10 million man a year, Taysom Hill, didn't even get a touch that game, which is kind of funny because I know that was kind of being used against Ingram in terms of his upside and, around the goal line that can make sense. But Ingram ended up absolutely smashing. You made the right choice, whether or not you got passed in cash and stuff, but he almost even got to the McCaffrey's level. Just sometimes the builds, I loaded up on the Cowboys Chiefs game and just didn't benefit us. But we digress. We'll move on to wide receiver. His name's not top. He's top 2. He's not number 2. That's Cooper Kupp. 9.6K, and you also have Davante Adams, 1K less than him, and even your favorite Jay Jettis at 8.3. What are you doing at the top of wide receiver here, Title?
It is top 2, not 2. Again, I don't know how long I can keep saying that, but he showed it last week. Davante Adams, 8.6K, too cheap, mispriced. I can't say that for too long. I mean, yeah, Justin Jefferson, he really might be the top 2, not 2 at the end of the day. Cooper Kupp, I just can't pay 9.6. He's printed for me all year. I'm going to jump off the bandwagon on DK. Devontae should not be 1K cheaper. In tournaments, sure, I get it, but I love the spot for Devontae. I love the spot for, I mean, if you want to go Devontae, Cooper Kupp in the same game, like, man, you just need a shootout. I probably won't be doing the builds like that, but that's a lot of money. AJ Brown, 7-1. He's been banged up. Like, I probably don't love going there. I'd probably rather go Keenan Allen at 7-4. Herbert just absolutely dominated. Keenan, he's coming into his own. Deontay Johnson, 6-6. Definitely like that play. Jamar Chase, you can always play him. Shout out to my buddy Hoy, 7-3. Don't care. Play Deontay, play Chase in the same game. Higgins is going to be more popular again, which I also is the reason I like Chase in tournaments. I'm good going back to Higgins and cash. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. He's 5-4. The targets are, I mean, he's coming off a stinker. Targets usually are there. Tyler Boyd got a lot more, but 5-4 is too cheap. I'm going to go back. Last one I'll mention, Brandon Cooks, 5.8K. He's still wide receiver 1, 5.8K for wide receiver 1. You get the Jets. Like, I think you can do it.
So I'll challenge you here in a minute to find me a value wide receiver, just so we can extend the conversation a little bit, but also because
what I need a price, like what price and down.
I would say sub 4K, see if you can find a guy who can maybe change the slate dynamically. And it can't be T.Y. Hilton because he's mine. I will say you didn't mention a guy who I'm going to use the L word here. I'm going to use the word lock. I will say it. Michael Pittman Jr., 5.6K. I think
so you think he's a lock. So I get Brandon Cooks, you get Michael Pittman, and then we bet a nice steak dinner. Yeah, 100. Yeah, $100.
Yeah, I'll do 100 because I think that's our unit there. We've done it in the past. You kicked my ass and it's worked. So I will do
Brandon Cooks. Nice.
I will be happy with that. I do like that Brandon Cooks matchup. Oh man. Okay. I do agree with the bet. I will run through with it. But what if I have both in my lineup?
I mean, you better hope your boy scores more than my boy. I don't care.
Because I kind of harp on this mid-tier build, but man, you look at Brandon Cooks, 5.8, and the targets with Tyrod Taylor are going to be there. I know he only had 3 last week. That's because they controlled the game and didn't really have to worry. They didn't have to score a ton of points offensively, but this is a guy who's been getting, 20 targets, in 2 weeks, or 14 targets the week before last week and stuff. His upside is immense, but I look at Michael Pittman Jr. They have led every game the last 3 weeks. The last time they didn't lead, they jumped out to an early jump start where he had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter against the Titans. But he has just been a machine. I think if he can get let's say the Colts trail even a little bit in this game. I think he can get 15 targets or so. I know that sounds kind of absurd, but I think the Colts are kind of smart enough to, once they realize that Jonathan Taylor is going to be mustering up a ton on the ground, that they're just going to sling their cocks off. And I hate to use the PG-13 version of this, but I think Michael Pittman Jr. at 5.6K, we get a slight price drop and a better matchup and a better game environment for him. I'm pumped by it. I'm using the L word. I'm going to play him. If I don't play him, I will. No, I'm not going to eat the one chip again. But I will. I will probably eat Blazing Wings by BW3s, B-dubs. I will do that, but I won't eat the fucking chip again because I still cry every day. Kind of like Deontay, 6.6 is another guy who looked really good, ended up getting over 100 yards. And he's just been a machine, especially on DraftKings specifically, where you're not getting a half-point PPR on FanDuel, you're getting a full-point PPR on DraftKings. He's been really good. He's actually not had a game below double digits on DraftKings. It's kind of absurd. 6.6K, it still feels a little bit soft. If I had to choose between Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams, I think I'm going to go, as much as it pains me to say, Devontae Adams. Watching him go off last week when I needed him the week before always hurts the soul a little bit, but a 1K difference off Kupp, defense that kind of looked discombobulated against the 49ers and stuff. I just think it's a little bit better to kind of go with the discount, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, the stud man. Other than that, wide receiver, I will mention just because I like the Colts a ton. T.Y. Hilton's kind of my sneaky guy at 4K. I just think this could be a game where maybe it's a big touchdown, 5 to 6 targets or so. But don't mind anyone kind of throwing in Zach Pascal or anything there. I already kind of mentioned that Brandon Cooks, as title kind of alluded to. I do like that game. I do like the Texans side. I even like the Jets side a little bit, but that mid-tier build is looking really nice. That is probably something I do. If AJ Brown misses, we'll have the value guys and stuff with maybe even a Westbrook Ikine or Marcus Johnson. Those are two guys that can kind of check some boxes. I'm not really interested in a ton else. Elijah Moore looking like the billing as he was in college. 11 targets last week. If they are trailing in any capacity, I think he's actually kind of living up to the fact that he'll get a ton of targets. He'll be a target hog as he was in college, and maybe that upside is there. Another guy in that mid-tier build at 5.6K. So I don't know. I'll throw it to you for your value play that I challenge you to. What do you got?
Zach Pascal. You mentioned him briefly a little bit, but if you're gonna say all this stuff about Pittman, you're gonna say Ty. I'll go Zach Pascal and he'll get the 2 touchdowns instead, and I'll win the bet, and my value is gonna do better.
I like it because anyone against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will have my support, and I do like that call. Zach Pascal has gotten a few touchdowns on the year,
but I will say I don't think I'm gonna play anybody under 4K. It's not like I like Zach Pascal. I think it's gross, but if I had to pick one, that's who I'd pick.
Yep, I like that 3.5K. It's better than no options. I'm glad you participated in the game. I will say I'm going to build a quick rough draft on what we could be looking at and kind of looking at salary. Honestly, I will kind of refer to you here. When we're talking about these quarterbacks, we're talking about these running backs, we're talking about these wide receivers. It feels like a slate that I don't have to spend down on tight end. Is that the case for you, Tyler?
It is not the case. I will be spending down at tight end. I mean, not like I'm going to be punting fully, but there's 3 that really stand out. I guess I could say, I'll say 3. Dallas Goedert at 4.8. That's as much as I'd pretty much spend up, I think. Dan Arnold, 4K. He had a donut. I had him in cash. It was absolutely brutal. He now gets the Falcons. I think this Jacksonville stack is sneaky. 4K. I like that price. And then Jared Cook at 3K. He's involved. He's running routes in a pass-first offense with Justin Herbert. Like, you can do worse than that. If I needed to mention someone else, Pat Freiermuth, he gets your Bengals that you're talking about. He's 4.3. If you're playing Big Ben, I'd go Deontay Johnson, then Freiermuth probably is my stack.
What about our guy who had 8 targets on Monday Night Football?
I'm not playing Gronk.
You're not playing Gronk. Why not?
I haven't played him all year. Why would I do that now?
Because you want to win money.
No. It's all right. So all right, you got Gronk at 4.4. I got I was gonna say Goddard at 4.8, but that's different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different because I think I would, I like Goddard.
Sure, I'll take Dan Arnold at 4K, $200.
Yeah, another 100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that. All right, I am down for that. Some prop bets here.
Write these down. Write these down and leave them by your computer because I'm gonna probably forget.
All right, I'll just go ahead and message them to you in
right.
the Gronk. You know, I'm sure you'll know Gronk, Arnold, and Pittman and Cooks, right?
Yep.
All right, I texted you that, or I sent him through Discord. Title doesn't give me his number, right? He's too good for me. He's lived in Austin, Texas. He's having a great time, and he's giving us these tight end plays that I assure you are definitely going to be winners. I will say Gronk kind of caught my eye a little bit, right? And we're going to already have a bet there. Gronk had 8 targets. He actually looked the part. The only thing that scares me about that bet is he's on a short week. If he doesn't play, the bet's void, standard. But the short week is the only thing that scares me there. I do like Freiermuth. I've been one who's just been a huge supporter of his all season. The targets were there last game. He even got the touchdown and stuff. Big Ben loves giving the ball. Double digits have been raining in, and he's a huge red zone target, similar to how Heath Miller was for Steelers for so long. And I think Freiermuth kind of fills that void that they've been missing for so many years. I did mention like, oh man, this looks like a spend up spot for tight end. And I kind of like look at the prices. I'm like, I'm a dumbass. There's not a ton of fucking spend up tight ends. I mean, maybe you can make the case for George Kittle, or maybe even a Kyle Pitts, but Matt Ryan is fucking dusty, and watching him play football makes me want to gorge my eyes out with a rusty fork. But that's all. We will go on to maybe defenses now, as you might wonder, well, why didn't you spend more time on tight ends? Because, well, tight ends didn't deserve to be spending more time on. Who is your top defense? Are you looking at defenses at all? I know news later in the week dictates that. We saw it with Lamar Jackson and the Bears last week. Lamar Jackson missed, the Bears became kind of chalk. And then we saw it with Jared Goff missing, and the Browns became chalk, and both ended up being good plays. But, when Holden's on the pod, we don't talk about defenses. But with me, I will say we will talk about defenses. Anyone catching your eye?
Texans 2.3. So the only thing that I can see myself playing right now, it's the Jets.
I will say, I didn't look at defenses before this. And when you said the Texans were 2.3, I kind of want to just close my laptop, or my phone in this case, and be like, I agree. Because I assume they're favored against the Jets, surely, with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback.
Yes, they are favored by 2.5.
2.5. You get a favored defense in any capacity against a team that has a rotating merry-go-round of quarterbacks. I mean, that's tough to really kind of get away from. Just so we can kind of extend the thought a few minutes, I have to say a different defense, right? And I will go with the Jaguars at 2.2 against the Falcons. This is the Matt Ryan team that threw a pick 6 at the end of the game. It wasn't even Matt Ryan who threw it, but they threw 4 interceptions in the game in total. And the Patriots looked like the 85 Bears against them. And I think spend down on defense type of week. I didn't really kind of expect to spend down in every position. Maybe I'll make room for the studs. Maybe I can actually afford Jonathan Taylor or Christian McCaffrey more than I thought. I do like Devontae Adams and stuff too, but I definitely think the slate's kind of a comfortable mid-tier cruise. I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. You got anything else to add for me, Title?
It was a fun show. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving as well. I'm excited for Thanksgiving slate. Main slate 10 games. Main slates are always good. NFL season is winding down. It's always a sad time. This is definitely my favorite time of the year. Sweating some NBA still right now. Hopefully I can get in the green. Hope everyone watching has a great Thanksgiving. If you're still watching right now at this point, you're a loyal one for sure, and we appreciate you. So hit the like, hit the subscribe. You guys have already done that though. Have a great Thanksgiving, and let's print some money.
One last thing before I do is send off. What's the promo code right now?
RPS Eater 25% off the first month.
You heard it here, and I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you have green all over on Sunday, and I wish you all a great day. Thank you and goodbye. Run Piers.